So Meta rolled out the Andromeda update this year, and since then people have been complaining about performance, seeing performance drops, and basically blaming it all on Meta. That's why I decided to take this short video and actually talk about it and actually explain what exactly changed and how you need to adapt to not see worse performance but actually keep scaling your brand. What I'm about to show is also what I'm applying to all the brands that I'm working with, and I can tell you we do not have any serious performance dips. Actually, we keep scaling, and this proves really that this is the right strategy to go about it. But first of all, let's take a look what actually changed with the Andromeda update. So first of all, number one, when it comes to the Andromeda update, what changed is that Facebook is selecting ads that are relevant way more aggressively and way more brutally. So if you're running something like Advantage Plus or the broad CBO, it chooses even faster what it makes sense to spend on and where it doesn't make sense to spend at all. This might be irritating for people, especially if you're used to get a lot of data or spend, but you can trust actually the algorithm here. It just got even better. When it doesn't spend, it doesn't spend for a reason. And in general, that is a really good update because that prevents any of your budget going to ads that won't perform anyway. Now, another big change is that ad targeting just got even much more personalized. So for example, in the past, many years ago, Facebook would think, oh, many people that buy from this ad are actually women, so let's push that ad to more women. Or many people who buy from this ad are men, so let's push it to men. Then it went more into depth and would actually adjust it based on the angle. So the ad targeting would depend on the ad angle. Just like an organic post, if you have a certain hook that applies to a certain type of person, it tries to machine learn who will actually engage with it the most and then click on it and why. So really not the ad set targeting settings, but rather what is on your ad creative, the messaging on it would decide who the ad goes out to. And now this has gotten even more granular. So for example, if Facebook sees, oh, a certain ethnicity buys from like this UGC ad because we have an Asian in there and like more Asians buy from it, let's push it to more Asians. Or if it sees that, hey, like this is a user that is mainly buying from static ads, not from UGC ads, then it would quickly decide to not only push based on your messaging, but also based on the ad format. For example, oh, this guy just buys from static ads. Let's show him the static ad of the brand that targets with the correct messaging, but also with the correct ad format. And then if a person mainly converts from, let's say, street interviews or from podcast ads because their entire feed is full of that, then it will push your podcast ads to that person. And this is why it is super important that you actually have creative diversity, because now, and even especially now with the Andromeda update, Facebook does the targeting much more personalized. But this also means that if your creative portfolio lacks street interview ads or podcast style ads or generic UGC ads and you only have AI mashups or something else, then no matter what you try, you will stay out of specific audiences that would actually buy from you and that you can actually scale it. And that's why it is important that as soon as you have a winning messaging, you actually replicate it across all different ad formats so that you can reach everyone who would really resonate with that. And this is where brands that don't have much creative diversity see their ad performance dropping, because then their ad audience is even further limited by the format if they are running only one format, and performance is going down. If you introduce creative diversity, it goes up again. Now, another thing to talk about is how to split test, and this is again something that the Andromeda update really rewards if you do it correctly. If you're not just running random tests, you actually really shouldn't, but actually run some proper split tests. You might be used to having the same ad creative like this one, but then having like 3 different headlines that go into slightly different angles. No, because creative diversity is even more important, you want to take bigger swings for those tests. For example, here you can see we have the same kind of ad format, but 3 different versions. Basically, we're split testing 3 different failed solutions. Here we have an e-mini pump for bicycles, and here we have a hand pump. Then here we have this one versus actually cheap alternatives, and we call it beware of cheaply made imitations. And then number 3, CO2 canisters, which you can also use to inflate bicycle tires. So you can see we split test this against 3 different alternatives, and we don't just have another headline. So the headline and basically kind of the angle or the failed alternative is different, but overall the ad format and the idea is the same, comparing it to a failed alternative. And if you do that, you will see where actually the ad spend goes to within the ad set, because such a split test we would run in one ad set, and you see which of the alternatives actually resonates with the most of your audience and which they have tried the most and disliked the most. And based on that, you can keep comparing it to this basically winning failed alternative, because you know this is the number one thing that is failing, so you want to compare to that. Now here another example where we took the exact different approach. We had the main theme of this split test was the buy 3 get 1 free offer, and here you can see, okay, we have this and some benefits. And then here we still have the same messaging, but now a completely different creative format. And this goes again into creative diversity. So basically this split test was, okay, we already have this winning offer, this winning messaging, but now we want to check, okay, what kind of ad format will actually perform best? Or maybe actually each one will go out to its own audience and we have multiple winners. So this is exactly what you want to do with the Andromeda update, and it will heavily reward you for that. But if you go against the stream and try to like media buy hack performance, like let's say, oh, nothing is performing, performance is going down, let's try a cost cap campaign, or let's try a bid cap campaign. Let's try to somehow make the awfully bad creatives work that we are running in the account. This is exactly where you just start wasting money. Because no matter what campaign type you run, it won't like suddenly show the ad to someone who's like, yeah, that's a shitty ad, but now I'm convinced. Like, it doesn't matter in what campaign type you run it. If you're actually curious how you should be running ads with the Andromeda update, I have a video here exactly about how I do it. In general, it's quite simple, and the focus is on the ad creative and creative diversity, as I already mentioned. Also, if you want a partner who can actually help you create creative diversity and great performing ad creatives, click the first link in the description. This is exactly what I do for e-com brands. Keep scaling. Bye.